Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday. Hey, Jeannie. I'm so happy to have you here with us today.
Hey,
Yay.
Leslie.
What a
Good to see
special
you.
treat. Woo.
Are you looking forward to Savannah?
I cannot wait. Cannot wait. I'm so excited. Yeah, looking forward to it. Guys, anyone who is planning to go to Savannah for the Today's Dietitian um, meeting, exhibit, whatever you're going for,
Symposium.
let us
Yeah.
know. Right? Even if
We'll
you're
be there and we'll be having a good time. So we'd love to host you. Please let us know.
right. So let us know. All right, guys. So again, welcome. Happy Thursday. We have a great show for you today. This is one of my favorite topics in the whole world, and one of my favorite people to connect with. So today we are lucky to have Jeanne Petrucci with us. And she, of course, as you probably already know, is from Living Plate RX. And today we are going to be talking about content that connects. And more specifically, we're going to drill down and talk about an evidence based formula to help you to create that content that connects, also helps you to serve, attract the right people, retain your ideal clients. And what I'm really excited about today, guys, is we're going to delve into the hottest topic, which is Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And Jeannie is going to be sharing with us, her perspective in terms of how you can integrate this pretty amazing tool into your own business, into your writing process to help you to spread the message more effectively, really scale that message. So, really looking forward to that. So, hello, welcome again for those of you that are joining us live and those of you that are joining and listening to the replay. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Lesli Bytel, and I am a practice building expert specifically for health and wellness entrepreneurs who want to attract more clients, sell more programs, and ultimately grow a profitable practice. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in
Do
because
it.
we have a ton to cover today,
And
as
just
usual.
FYI, I'm going to give you more than my perspective. I'm actually going to be giving your audience plenty of tools that they'll be able to use, both content and for Chat GPT, because they're both really, if you're in the content business right now, which we all are,
Yeah.
you really need to get comfortable with Chat GPT, and we're here to support you with that. So,
Yes. All right.
yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah, we've got a hello. Looking forward to the topic. Unfortunately, I can't see who typed this in, but whoever you are, welcome. Happy to have you. All right, Jeannie. So, how would you like to proceed? I know you've got some
Oh,
slides.
let's just do it. Yeah, I do have some slides just to illustrate the points that we'll be talking about
Okay.
tonight. But I just want everybody here to think about, as health and wellness professionals who make nutrition recommendations in our practices, right? We all, that's what we do.
Yep.
And how difficult it is to develop the strategies and tools that our clients need to support them in getting the transformation that they desire.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the zone where I live, right? Those strategies and those tools, right? So Lesli is a practice growth expert. She's going to help you like get people in the door, right? My job is to support you with all of the strategies, the tools, and the content that you need to support your clients in their transformation. Now, we hear that a lot, like it's a buzzword, right? Like sell the transformation, not the product, right? Of course,
Right.
yeah. Like at this point, we all know that, right? Like Lesli, you certainly have done enough education around that topic, so we all know that we need to sell the transformation, but you need to get people to that transformation.
Yes.
It's a process known as behavior change, right? So think about any transformation that you're promising, the outcome that your clients are looking for. There is a process, there is a continuum that your clients need to kind of travel on, and it's not always linear, right? It's like back and forth. It's
Right.
called stages of change. To get people to that maintenance stage, they've gotten the transformation, and now they're going to hang out with you because you are so fantastic with all the tools and strategies that you have in place that you've gotten them there. So today, we're going to start the conversation by talking about what is content that connects. Content that connects is a framework that is evidence-based. It is a framework that I have designed. It is a content creation process that considers health behavior theory. It allows you to create content that is evidence-based, but it also allows you to deliver it in an evidence-based manner. So that's what's kind of cool about it. So we're in the behavior change business, right? So we have to get really comfortable with health behavior theory, right? I mean, at this point, most of our audience is familiar with it. Yeah. Do we need to review it?
I think most people are probably familiar. Let me know in the chat if you want us to review that.
Yeah, just type in
Continuum.
HBT. HBT. If you're, if you're a behavior theory junkie or you're familiar with it, type in HBT, health behavior theory. I am going to share my screen now. Okay. Let's see here. Audience window. Okay, here we go.
There we go. And
then you share it. Perfect.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much. All right. So drop in HBT if you're familiar with health behavior theory. The behavior change blueprint takes this content that connects these tools that you actually are going to have access to. So after our broadcast today, Leslie's going to drop in a link. You're all going to get access to the content cure that has all this information in it, plus content for you to kind of operationalize what we're talking about. But I just thought it would be worthwhile to review the behavior change blueprint with everybody, because there's something really, really cool that is relevant to what I do and what Lesli does, which is why we work together so well. So the behavior change blueprint considers 3 areas, like three pillars of content that you need to provide to your existing and future clients in order for them to get a nutrition-related health behavior change. Number 1 is teaching. That is the pillar that's to the left there. This is mostly knowledge. Now, knowledge alone can drive positive health outcomes through kind of perceived outcomes, right? So if you're just telling people all the health benefits of these different foods, they might, buy into that and consume those foods, but it's not going to be enough. Knowledge alone is never enough, because then at the end of the day, all you are is an information disseminator. But it is important. So we have a pillar for teaching and knowledge. This includes things like counseling and coaching. And Lesli, I know that you provide your clients tons of support in that area. Education materials, so think handouts, ebooks, presentations, course materials. So in this teaching bubble, this is where you as a practitioner really live and really resonate. And what's important to understand about that now, in a world kind of flooding with AI generated content, is the more you bring into this bubble, the better your practice is going to do, the more you're going to thrive. Would you agree with that, Lesli?
Oh, absolutely. Okay.
I mean, I knew you would. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked.
It's a rhetorical question, right?
Yeah, but yeah, it is a bit of a rhetorical question. But still, like, it seems kind of obvious. You need to bring the human, and this is kind of the bubble, where that lives. But then you also need tools, right? So you need tools to support your clients in their transformation, something like meal planning software. Now, my membership includes meal planning software, but I will never be the person to tell you that meal planning software is going to transform the lives of your clients. It's going to transform your business. It won't alone. You need a lot of other stuff, which is why I built a lot of other stuff, because meal planning alone is not going to move the needle. It's an important tool, specifically for our community, because it's a time suck. It takes a lot of time to create meal plans. So the meal planning software does fit very nicely into the tools bucket. Also, things like community, building a private community, either as a membership community or private Facebook group, can be a really great tool for communications. EHR integrations. So if you use Healthy or Practice Better or another EHR, that is a tool, a vehicle actually, that allows you to communicate with your clients. And then things like email service providers, right? So a customer service management system. And then the final bubble are techniques. You need to support your clients with techniques. This is the skills piece. This is where a lot of the culinary stuff lives. And this is the hardest bubble to populate in terms of content that connects, because it's a super heavy lift. I don't know, but have you, Lesli, ever tried to produce a cooking video?
Oh God, I have not, but it's got to be so hard. Because the lighting, the angles, I don't know how you do it.
I don't. Betsy Ramirez does it for us.
They're
So
beautiful. I've seen the output and they're beautiful, but I've never tried it myself. No,
yeah, big shout out to
I
Betsy
don't
Ramirez.
want to.
Betsy Ramirez is also a registered dietitian, but she does video production. So can I
Right.
produce cooking videos? Yes. Have I? I've produced hundreds of cooking videos. But we now have somebody who does that for our membership community. So things like cooking videos, culinary courses, right? So if your client does not even know how to hold a knife, nothing that you teach and no tool that you provide them is going to get them across the line of health behavior change. Is this starting to make sense, Leslie?
Oh, it is to me. Yeah.
Bringing all these together?
I'd love to hear from our community here
Is
today.
it type in makes sense if this is making sense, right? So, it's a lot to take in. And this Venn diagram is something that I created and assigned a name to, but trust me, this is evidence-based practice. This is not my original thought. This is what the evidence says. You need content in all of these spaces to address the barriers that your clients have to meeting health behavior change. So again, in that skills piece, it's cooking courses, cooking videos, culinary coaching, and things like live events. COVID made that particular pillar a little bit more difficult, but we've managed to overcome it because now you no longer have to do in-person live demos. You can leverage pre-recorded videos. You can leverage, pre-recorded pans and hands and do voiceovers. It's just a lot of really unique things that you can do in this techniques pillar. So we have teaching, we have tools, and we have techniques. All of these need to come together so that you can elevate your client experience. So right now, for those of you who are watching now, and even if you're watching this as recording, I would love to hear from you. Where right now do you spend the most time? Do you teach? Are you like a tools person? Or do you spend a lot of time working on techniques? If you're more of a culinary dietitian, you probably have been very comfortable in the techniques pillar, but maybe creating other, educational materials and presentations wasn't your jam. So maybe you need to develop that pillar. My encouragement to you now is to assess where you're most comfortable, nail down your content creation process using the framework that I'm going to give you access to, and then expand into the other pillars of the behavior change blueprint, right? So most of us, when I say us, dietitians and nutrition coaches, we're super comfortable in teaching, right? We want to shout everything that we know from the mountaintops to everybody, right, Leslie?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that people tend to get really comfortable with kind of information dissemination mode?
Yeah, I think that's education is what we're best at, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's what we're best at, and it's what we're comfortable with.
Right.
Like telling people what to do.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
again, understand that that is only going to get your clients so far. So you need to get comfortable with the tools and the techniques. Here's the interesting thing. I'm standing in my private practice right now. I was in private practice. I saw people struggling. I was very comfortable in the kitchen because I spent 28 years of my professional life as a culinary instructor. What I've realized is that most colleagues are as uncomfortable in the kitchen as all the patients I was seeing. To be fair, because they have been raised in generations of people that lack cooking skills, right? So it's nobody's fault. So you need support, and that's why I focus a lot on kind of the techniques and skills content. You need support there. You need somebody that you can get cooking videos from so you don't have to produce them. You need a resource for recipes if you yourself are not comfortable producing these recipes, right? That makes sense, right, Leslie?
100%. Yeah.
Somebody's asking a question. I've been spending a lot of time on generating content, including follow-up notes to clients and handouts. Yes. So there is a solution. So, Living Plate RX does provide you with all the content that you need to run your practice, right? And everything that you can edit. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I can't see who that is, but you can reach out to me and I'll send you.
Is that Marissa?
Marissa back?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel free to reach out to me, Marissa. But just to get started, I am going to be providing everybody who watches this video now or as a recording with a link to tons of free content, like $1,900 worth of content. You're going to get cooking videos, handouts. You're going to get a lot of materials, and you're going to get a Chat GPT guide so that you can use prompts to repurpose that content. So I'm just going to use an example here of how All of these tools, Leslie, come together to elevate the client experience. And it's not on this slide right now, but you could insert a layer of Chat GPT here, because what it's going to do for Marissa is it's going to accelerate her content creation process. So Marissa, oh, she just joined Living Play RX. So good for you. So your troubles are history. But let me just explain it for everybody else. You could take something like a handout. And let's say it's a handout on fresh herbs, which I think actually it's an ebook that you get on fresh herbs. And you want to share information with a client about, using fresh herbs. Maybe they love to garden, to, make an herb salad and kind of elevate their nutrition status by using herbs with different foods. I don't know, I'm going out here, but just ad-libbing here a little bit. But you can take that content and put it into Chat GPT and ask it to repurpose it for your client. Like if you could please, it's all about the prompt, right? You're going to be asking ChatGPT to repurpose that content in another way. If you wanted to send an email series about how to use herbs, that would be a fantastic series, by the way, how you can use herbs and release a new herb every day. It would take you probably 10 minutes using the prompts that we give you to take that ebook and transition it into a 5-part email series. Super fun. Right. And so you continue to elevate the client experience, but now you can just do it a little bit faster. And we're helping our community with ChatGPT and, kind of demystifying it, making it a little bit more simple. So Lesli, the very cool thing about all of this is that everything that you do to elevate your client experience. So let's use that email sequence as an example. Everything that you're doing also fuels your marketing efforts. Because when you are providing really valuable evidence-based content in an evidence-based way to your clients, you are fueling your practice. And all of this comes together just in such a beautiful way. And you're doing it all on a foundation of health behavior change theory.
I love that. Okay, so I had to enlarge my screen to be able to see the what was inside each of these circles. Okay.
Right. So we have our teaching, our tools, our techniques. All of this comes together. If you're comfortable in one, make sure you get comfortable with the others, because evidence says you need to be in all of them, right? You can't just have a meal planning tool. You also have to have culinary courses, skills videos. You also have to have handouts, ebooks. You have to have all of it. But once you do have all of it, it will elevate your client experience for sure, make them more satisfied, but it will fuel your marketing efforts. We're going to take a look at kind of how that unfolds right now.
Good.
All right. So this is the stages of change. Super simple illustration of look at the bottom. We have pre-contemplation to maintenance, right? Pre-contemplation, contemplation, people aren't even thinking about you, right? Maybe they're thinking about changing their behaviors, but they're not really motivated yet. Then they move on to motivation, then they're ready to take action, and then they move on to maintenance. That is your client's personal health behavior journey as it relates to nutrition. What's cool, again, is let's take a marketing view of this. Look at the top. We have client attraction and retention. The same people who are in pre-contemplation and contemplation require different kinds of content to attract them to you than somebody that you're retaining. It's very different. So this is what it kind of looks like when you build it out across different platforms, right? So, Lesli, and you have to be in all these spaces. You can't just, what would happen, Lesli, if you were coaching me and I told you, I keep creating content and I'm trying to attract new clients. And what happens when you're in attraction mode 100% of the time?
Well, you miss the huge opportunity of retention.
Right.
I mean, and honestly, what I've observed is this is what most practitioners do. They focus almost exclusively on client attraction, and there's this huge gaping hole in the business around client retention, right?
Yep.
And honestly, it is your low-hanging fruit, guys, seriously, to capture the retention so you don't always feel like you're on the hamster wheel constantly never ending scrambling for new clients.
It's exhausting.
It is.
It's exhausting. Excuse me. And it's not sustainable. Like you can't,
It's
you
not
can start
sustainable.
a practice that way, but it's just so funny because I think the messaging, on social media, that's kind of, it makes us anxious. Like if you're not creating reels and carousels and you're not creating all of that attraction, because social media is one of the best ways, not the only way, but one of the best ways to attract new clients for sure. So we get hung up on that. And that's not everything. And again, it's not sustainable. So for attracting somebody in pre-contemplation or contemplation, it might be a reel, it might be a cooking video that you put out and somebody's like, oh, that looks really good, maybe I'll give that a try. Boom, now they've taken one micro step right in the right direction of working with you. People who are in contemplation, who are looking for motivation, things like emails and blog posts, they're also going to look at social media, but that's more that nurturing content where you're going to be. And then of course, action and maintenance. You will never, I shouldn't say never, but it's unlikely that you will sell your high ticket course to somebody in contemplation phase. Not happening, right? They're not ready yet. They're not at that stage of change, right? Which is why it's so important to kind of pay attention to clients as they're moving through behavior change. So let's take this, Leslie, and we're going to flip it this way. Now, what do we have here? Leslie, don't you answer this question. For those of you who are on with us, tell me, what is this to the right? What have I drawn there to the right? To the left, we have our health behavior theory, solid, right? Pre-contemplation to maintenance. We're attracting our clients and we're bringing them to their transformation. What is to the right here? Somebody drop in comments for me. What is this to the right? Sales funnel. Brilliant. Thank you so much. That is your sales funnel. Now, Leslie, you have a sales funnel, but you call it the profit pyramid, but it essentially works the same way. Mm-hmm. The materials that you create for client attraction are going to look very different from the materials that you create for people who are either already working with you or in motivation or kind of moving down the funnel, right? So at the top, you have content. This is all in the content that connects framework. Your content attraction, your client attraction materials are going to be things like, yes, Facebook Reel, Facebook Live, or an Instagram Reel, an opt-in, or an Instagram post engagement. So many cool tools. Can we talk about the tool that you and I are really obsessed about right now, Leslie?
Sure.
Okay. ManyChat.
ManyChat. Yeah. Oh my God. Hello. Hi, Wes.
It's anytime one of our colleagues finds like a really cool tool, we text each other right away. So ManyChat is an unbelievable tool that helps you accelerate this whole process, right? So imagine you're doing a Facebook Live and you're doing a cooking demo. You're preparing some recipes. You're definitely going to get eyeballs on you and your business. You need to capture, those eyeballs are not enough. The followers are not enough. You don't own your followers. You need those emails. What you can do is use an automation like ManyChat. And we know somebody who can help you build those, by the way. So if you're interested in a ManyChat manager, let us know. So you build a ManyChat funnel so that I tell you, if you're on with my cooking demo, type recipes below and I will send you the recipes along with more information on how you can work with me. And as you continue working, people are typing in recipe, that keyword, and it's an automation. They get the recipes because you pre-built it. That does two things. It elevates your client's experience, right? It brings people into your world. It attracts them to you, makes you look like a real pro, and the algorithm loves it because people are commenting on your live video. So it works in so many ways to benefit your practice.
Yes, Carrie, ManyChat.
Yes, Carrie is asking ManyChat. Yes, you can set up a free account. Honestly, you can go to YouTube. I built my first funnel by myself, my first ManyChat funnel, totally by myself. It was great. It was fine. Now I have much more complicated mapping going on because I've hired somebody, and it is so effective. It is so, I can't even tell you. Every day I get inquiries from people who are using my ManyChat, who end up in my ManyChat funnel. So it facilitates really organic, natural conversations in DMs. You're not spamming anybody because they're opting in. They're asking you, send me the information. Right. So that's what I love about it, Leslie, right? It feels good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. And I'm over the moon excited about getting mine set up.
That's
Yeah.
great.
It's a great opportunity. Yeah. Do they have a free version?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
They do.
Yeah, you're limited in terms of what you can do with it, but yes, you can start with a free version. I think you get a certain number of kind of triggers,
Yeah.
but see what the results are for you. And you don't want to do it with every post. You want to. We're going to be talking about kind of my 3 pillars for competing in the AI world, and one of them is diversify. You want to diversify your content. You don't want to keep you don't want to have a comment for every single post that you put out there. Comment recipes, comment webinar, comment this and that. You want to use it strategically, and you want to be diverse, but it is a powerful, powerful tool, especially for that client attraction at the top. And so as people move through your sales funnel, look to the left, right?
Mhm.
Think about working with you. You attract them. They're motivated. They're getting your newsletter. You now have weekly events. I mean, it's like a party, honestly. We should make this like one of those exploding party funnels, because to me, that's what it's all about. Like, once people come to work with you, it should be your privilege to serve them. And so that middle part of it is your privilege. The middle part of that funnel, you serve and serve and serve and serve more value. If you are just getting started, you do have to be patient. It takes time to, to nurture people. And, that's called your sales cycle. Rarely do people kind of come in at the top and just go right to the bottom of your funnel, like pouring water into they kind of hang out in the middle a little bit, right? Like a thick
Oh,
gravy, like a
absolutely.
thick gravy. So we'll
Yeah.
use a food analogy.
Yeah. Well, they want to get to know you.
Yes, they want to
Right?
get to
They
know you.
wanna get to know you. That's very, very common. So they'll watch your videos, they'll watch your they'll read your newsletters, they'll just kinda check you out,
Yep.
and it for sometimes a long time,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Sure.
that happens to me all the time
Yeah.
where, I'll get somebody and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I know you."
Yep.
Like they're already like, I already know I want to work with you. I feel like I know you. I've been watching your Facebook lives. I've been reading your content. Like, let's do
Let's
this.
do it. So, for most practitioners, there's some type of a trigger, right? So when people say that to me, Leslie, my question to them is, why now?
Yeah.
Right? Like, we've had a relationship for, a year, 2 years, whatever. Why now? And it's just because they're ready now, right?
Yeah.
You never know why people aren't opting into your services. Maybe it's because they didn't have the resources at the time, either time or money. Maybe they just, wanted to try and do it themselves, which is totally fine. So you just have to respect that.
Yeah.
But it has to be in that middle of the funnel. You have to consistently
Yes.
provide content. And that's why the Content That Connects framework is so important, in having a resource that gives you, all the content that you need in the behavior change blueprint to kind of, work your magic in the funnel. Now, ChatGPT has changed the game in terms of the volume of content that you can put in this funnel. So it's all good. I'm a huge fan, and we'll talk about that in a little
Yeah.
bit. So as people move down your funnel, right, they're getting ready to take action. So that person who's in action phase is ready to engage in a paid program, a digital course, membership, something like that. All right. So let me just see if I think that, okay. So this is the last slide, and then we'll just kind of chat about it. So you have the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. The top of the funnel is your attention space, opt-ins, reels, some type of free opt-in, kind of your free and maybe very low cost items would be at the top. If you already have an engaged audience or you're a major influencer, you can charge for things at the top of the funnel. I have seen people do that. But for most of us, that's going to be your free content. The middle of the funnel is going to be could be a mix of free and kind of low cost paid. This is where you're nurturing. So you have their attention, you're going to nurture and serve. And then at the bottom of the funnel, you're going to retain them with client materials and special, kind of offers for them. So I'm going to stop sharing now, Leslie, and just
Okay.
come back
Where
to
does the
hello.
actual sale come in on this funnel? Is it at the bottom?
It depends. Did you want to make us full screen here, Leslie?
Yeah.
All right, just stop sharing my screen. Just prompt there. Great.
There we go.
Where does the sale come in? That's a really great question. It can come in at the top of the funnel, but that's not where you're going to make your money. And it's so funny to me, not funny, but it's just interesting that, and I don't think I hear it as much now as I did maybe 4 years ago when I first started building meal plans. A lot of practitioners thought, well, I can just offer meal plans and start making passive income right at the top of the funnel.
Yes.
That is never going to happen. Again, unless if you're like Jennifer Aniston and you're like, hey, I have this great meal plan with my famous salad, you're going to make millions. But
Right.
that's not logically where most of the sales are going to happen.
Okay.
Most
Right.
of your sales are going to happen in that middle of the funnel and at the bottom of the funnel. And it also needs to align with your offers. And Lesli, that's what you help everybody do. Decide, you don't just have one offer. You have to have diverse offers for people at different stages of behavior change, right? So I have a free offer, I have a mid-priced offer, and I have a membership. Not everybody's ready for my membership. Maybe they're just ready for the $47 offer just to kind of dip their toe in and experiment with the technology. So you need to craft several offers to kind of put in that middle of the funnel and just kind of keep the conversation going. Absolutely. Somebody is saying that we keep cutting out.
I do not. You're not cutting out for me.
Okay. I'm just like I keep talking.
I'm actually on Ethernet.
Okay. I am too.
But you know what? I will close my window because our neighbor is mowing the lawn. So it's very loud. Oh, no.
I love that. Yeah, go ahead. Well, I'll keep the conversation going. No worries. So at the end of the day, the Content That Connects framework helps you do 3 things for your business. We just covered now all that it does for your clients, and it elevates our client experience. But the 3 things that it does for your business is it helps you attract, serve, and retain. Those are the 3 words I want you to remember, because if you don't attract, serve, and retain clients, you don't have a business, period. You can just attract all you want. But if you're not creating content to retain and to serve, you're going to burn out. Like that's not going to work.
You can't pay the bills, right? Like you're going to go, it is not going to end well.
It's not going to end well. Correct. Right. So, all right. So we covered Content That Connects. That I really wanted to, we had Lesli was just so gracious to give me a little extra time today. So, we did cover now health behavior theory and kind of how it fits into what types of content do you need to create and the framework that you need to create it in and what it does for your clients and what it does for your business. So now I want to talk about content that scales. So now you have all of this content. Now you're either creating the content yourself or you have a resource for the content. No judgment. You do what you do, like whatever time and resources you have, but you do need to create the content. You just can't coach people because then you're just in that teaching bubble again, remember? So once you have all of this content, how do you scale it? And AI technology has now made that like really easy. But here's a word of caution, and Lesli, I know you're going to support me on this. You cannot scale your content if you don't have your messaging right.
Oh my God, yes.
If you do not know who your ideal customer avatar is, and you do not have a unique value proposition that attracts them to you, don't use ChatGPT. Like, don't go down that rabbit hole because you just start creating garbage. It's not worth your time. So you need to be more efficient in your practice. And Lesli, you work with people on developing their ICA, their ideal customer avatar. Okay. So,
and their messaging, it's the first thing that we do.
What's wonderful about that and getting it on paper, right? That's actually really important. So if I asked any registered dietitian or health coach, like, who is your ideal customer avatar? In more or less a few words, they're going to be able to tell me who they target, right? Mm-hmm. But unless you have a super detailed description, like really detailed description in your ICA, you're not going to be able to leverage ChatGPT and get outputs that are really good. So the more detailed the description is of your ideal customer avatar, the better you're going to be able to take content and repurpose it and scale it.
Interesting.
Is that making sense now? So, we've always talked about, yes, you got to create an ICA and you have to have a unique value prop. Your unique value proposition is a statement that very clearly communicates who you serve, how you serve them, and what kind of transformation you're going to be getting for them, right? It's very specific. everybody watching is going to get access to the content cure. Inside of day 2, there is a kind of a space that supports you with taking these descriptions. Now, if you've already worked with Lesli, go back into your materials, grab your definition of your ideal customer avatar, because you're going to use that to inform AI who you are talking to. You don't want to take, for example, a post on, I keep using the different types of tofu post because I'm a little obsessed with it. I don't know why. It's like a 6 carousel post. It's great. We published it in our content drop last month. But let's say you have, 6 different types of, 6 different ways to use tofu and the different types of tofu, right? And how to use them. It's very generalized, right? Would your ideal customer avatar be interested in it? Maybe, but you need to take that content and make it super specific and relevant to them, right? So right now, for those of you who are joining me, can you type in who your ideal customer avatar is? Let me know. I'm just going to use an example that I continue to use over and over again, because a lot of our kind of leaders in our community specialize in fertility. So I create, or I access in my membership, a post, an Instagram post on different types of tofu and what to do with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm providing knowledge. I'm providing skills because I'm providing a video and some recipes and tools. Like everything is in this. It has it all, right? Firing on all cylinders. But it's general. I take that post and I plug it into ChatGPT and ask this tool to rewrite this post to speak to my ideal customer avatar. I cut and paste the ICA description that you worked on with Lesli, and I put it in. And guess what I get? I get an Instagram post that is so targeted to my ideal customer avatar, and I didn't have to write it. All I have to do is edit it. They're inside of the content cure, Lesli, again, that everybody gets access to. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. I take you in a little bit deeper into how you create these prompts. I actually write the prompts for you in kind of a Mad Libs style.
Okay.
It will say, insert ICA here, right? Insert unique value proposition here. So you're taking this done for you content, or content that you created yourself, and then you're going to use ChatGPT to modify it to make it address your ideal customer avatar. Now you're scaling the right way and saving time. Did I just
basically
quiet?
Garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Right? Like, bottom line, if you can't be specific, you are going to get garbage, right? So I think it's going to sound really, based on what I've seen, it's an amazing tool, but yet that specificity is so critical. Otherwise, you're going to sound like everybody else.
Exactly.
Right? And
exactly.
We do not want that.
And, it's so interesting. We do get this question from new members a lot. When you come into my community, you get access to all this content. Yeah. And the question is, well, if thousands of people are using this content, then why I don't want to use the same content. No, you don't. But the cool thing is we all work off the same evidence, right? If Lesli was going to write a blog post on managing blood sugars with food, and I write a blog post on managing blood sugars with food, it's going to say the same thing in a different way, right? So that's the point. We give you this library of just kind of evidence-based done for you content to start, and then you leverage ChatGPT. Oh, you got it there. Great. Thank you. Yeah. Then you leverage ChatGPT to modify and massage that content. And then you still have work to do. Don't get me wrong. I think that Living Plate RX resources plus business coaching plus ChatGPT gets you like touching the finish line. But to get over the finish line
diagram, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. You definitely need to massage the content. You need to infuse your own voice inside of the content cure, which Lesli just dropped the link to. Yeah. I teach you how to use ChatGPT so that ChatGPT remembers what you just told it. And the reason why I'm using this piece of technology is because it's free. There are other tools. I use Content at Scale. I use Jasper. Some people use Dolly for images. There's a lot of stuff out there now. But if you haven't used AI yet, ChatGPT 3, it's free. Just get started using it. And you can do that with the prompts that I'm giving you inside of the Content Cure. So we take the Content That Connects framework. We create our evidence-based content. We bring in our ideal customer avatar, our unique value proposition, kind of the business messaging piece of it. You put those two things together and you put them in the chute of ChatGPT, and you get great results. So that is the secret. I think I'm going to do a webinar on the secret to leveraging ChatGPT in nutrition practices, because Lesli, what you mentioned, I think is the biggest mistake people are going to make. And it wastes time. If you just start generating, asking ChatGPT to generate you an Instagram post on whatever, on something, right, it's going to take you a really long time. Right.
So so my big takeaway is, of course, you're going to give it a topic, but you want to tell it to write it for your ICA, right?
Exactly.
And that's really where the specificity comes into play.
Exactly. So Carrie Mitchell is saying professional women struggling with unresolved symptoms, a root cause for a custom approach. Yes. Terrific. So you will Carrie, Carrie, I think that you were in the content care, but if you're not, make sure that you sign up for the content care and go through the process.
Yeah.
You want to even get more specific. How old are these women? What do they do? Right? If there's a specific, area, are they working a 9 to 5? Are they night shift workers? Like, you want to get really specific about their pain points, their struggles. I mean, it's probably going to be 3 or 4 sentences long. You really need to identify your ICA. The more specific you are, the better your output. Can I share my screen again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. There it is.
Let's see. Okay, there we go. Ooh, is this what comes in the?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys, make sure you go grab that. I put the link in the chat.
Now, this specific guide, so this is a 21-page guide. I used ChatGPT to support me in creating this guide. It took me about 8 hours. It would have taken me 3 days. There's so much information in here, as you will see. It would have taken me 3 days. So it's all about the inputs and knowing also just what is your objective? Why am I sitting in front of ChatGPT and what am I asking it to do? You have to be really clear on your objective. And again, the Living Plate RX content kind of helps you because you have the content and you're trying to either repurpose it or reframe it. So, we get you one step ahead already. This guide is to be used with Living Plate RX content, but you can absolutely use it for content that you create yourself. But again, I'm giving you free content, so you can just go ahead and have some fun here. All right, so here, let me just go make sure that I can. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of this now, but I know that there are probably going to be questions about ChatGPT, kind of what it is and how to leverage it. In this guide, I take you through that, right? What it is, how to get started, how do you select content? I give you prompts, and I also support you with how to review and edit it. I just wanted to take a minute here. Is it okay if we take a second to talk about what it is in case people aren't familiar with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually, not everyone probably is familiar. So
everybody's heard of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, right? Most people. But yeah, they may not know the capabilities.
First, let me tell you that nobody is an expert on this, right? I'm not an expert. All I'm doing is sharing with you what has worked for myself and my community, right? So if I test something out and it works, I share it. That's kind of how I operate. There are a lot, if you're on Facebook for like even 30 seconds, you're going to see an ad from someone promising to sell you a course to make you an expert on ChatGPT. Nobody is an expert. Everybody is still really just trying to figure it out. So let me just explain overall what this AI is all about, and I'll just take you through a couple of examples. So it's artificial intelligence, right? It's massive amounts of data. When you plug in a prompt, now the prompt is everything, like Lesli said, garbage in, garbage out. So we help you craft a prompt with really, really good content. And then you assign ChatGPT a task. What it does is it takes what you're asking it to do and it breaks it up into words and phrases and kind of sends it out into this universe of, massive amounts of data that it has. And then it starts putting things together it figures out what you're asking it to do. And then it predicts what will come next. It's basically just a language model. It's interesting when you start working with it that it does sound so human. Like I even find myself when I'm typing in a prompt like "Dear GPT," but it's just a language model. It's really just predicting what will come next. So it puts all of this together into a vortex, and then boom, it spits out an output, right? It spits out more content based on the prompt. So that's a 3-step process that most of these AI platforms go through. So that's really very layman's terms. Somebody is saying, still perfecting Chat GPT. It's so fun. Excuse me. Prompting is important. Learning the curve. Yes, prompting is important, and things continue to change. So just, you really need to pay attention to what's going on in this kind of Chat GPT world. Cover best practices. You can read that on your own time. This is actually really important. So this is like the scaling part of it. You have your content. Now you're getting ready to scale. You have your messaging. Now you're getting ready to scale your messaging. What you don't want to do, like, again, ChatGPT doesn't remember anything unless you make it remember. So what you want to do especially in the free version of ChatGPT, other programs like I think Jasper now, it does remember who you are and your brand essence and your ICA kind of as you're working, but you have to pay for that capability. In the free version, you're basically just going to create a folder. So let's say I take that tofu post again, right? I make it relevant to my ICA. Maybe I do focus on fertility. So that post is probably going to talk about the health benefits of plant-based proteins and how it can drive more positive outcomes for people in fertility treatments, because that's evidence-based practice. So it will drive the outcome. And then once that Instagram post is generated, I'm going to make it a folder. And every Instagram post that I create moving forward will be in that folder. You don't want to create a new chat every single time. So the instructions on doing that are here, and we support you with that. So you have this content, you get a great output, maybe not, maybe you have to, reprompt it a couple of times, but once you get a really good output, you want to continue to create outputs in that same chat. You don't want to open up a new chat every single time. Yes, it's fun, and it's fun to experiment, but you're basically starting from ground zero every single time. All right, if anybody has any questions, go ahead. So when you're selecting your content, we talked about feeding creating this really good prompt, right? You need to tell the AI who you are. So when you're crafting your mission statement, what is the first step that you do, Lesli, with your clients and kind of discovering who you are as a practitioner? Is it a mission statement or a core promise?
Well, it's really getting clear on who you love working with.
Okay.
And at least from my perspective, what are the problems that you can help solve? Because generally people are motivated to get out of pain, right?
Yep.
And so we have to be really clear in our messaging. What are those struggles or those symptoms that you can help your ideal client solve? And of course, the transformation and things like that. But I find sometimes the missing element is, what are the problems, symptoms, challenges that you can help solve?
Excellent. So who you are, right? All of that.
Yep.
What your practice focus is. So
yeah,
you're solving those problems. Who you work with, specifically who you serve, getting really granular. How you have created content in the past. So this is really a really cool feature of ChatGPT. You can actually drop in your Instagram account or your website or a landing page. If you're looking to create a 5-part email series to promote a new course, if you've built a landing page for that course, you can tell ChatGPT, you can add it to that vortex. It'll become part of that information that it assesses before it gives you the output. So you can and I show you in this guide how to do that. So you can drop in a link to, again, a URL for anything, so that ChatGPT can learn about your style, your tone, and what your products are. You also need to tell it who you want ChatGPT to be, right? So this is actually one of the scarier things, Lesli, about artificial intelligence, that people who don't have training or credentials will now be able to sound like experts.
Mm.
And the information that they're disseminating would probably be pretty accurate, right? So if I tell ChatGPT that I am an expert in nutrition for athletes, which I'm not, right? But I can act like I am, and I can get information like I am.
Interesting. Right.
Yeah. So
It's a little scary.
it's a little bit scary because again, it just makes the field a little bit more complicated for us. But as long as you're sticking to what you know, who you are, who you serve, how you serve them, and your messaging, you're going to be fine. You're going to be good. What tone do you want it to use? So you can even type in, you know, sound empathetic, sound professional, casual, include emojis, like really specific. You're going to get the best output. And then let's see, any call to action. Say, I'm getting ready to do a live launch or a free webinar. Can you please include this as a call to action and provide me the results in this format? So that's kind of the last. So all of these things, if you've already started using ChatGPT and you haven't been addressing all of these bullet points, you're going to be even saving more time if you pay attention to these. So you can tell it to deliver the information back as an outline. You can ask it to deliver it as a calendar, as a table. You can ask it to deliver it back in any format, right? I'm getting ready to write a rubric for an evaluation for a program that I have. I'm going to be using ChatGPT to deliver back the results to me in a rubric format. Somebody is asking a question, but
yeah, it's an interesting one.
Good. I have the answer for you.
Okay.
So yes, ChatGPT only uses info up to 2021. Now, what's good about our business is that nutrition science does not move at lightning speed, right? There may have been, that I'm unaware of, you know, revolutions in nutrition between 2021 and now, but a lot of what we already know about nutrition and culinary skills and everything that we're talking about happened before 2021. But if you ask ChatGPT who won the Super Bowl last year, it will not be able to answer you. The answer is to install an extension. It's called Web Chat. It's a Chrome extension. You download it, it's free, and it automatically assigns itself to your ChatGPT account. So it's called Web Chat GPT. When you do want to find information that is more recent, you can actually toggle it on. I have found that gives me way more results than I actually want. So experiment with it. But download the free extension. It's called Web Chat GPT. And yeah, Web Chat GPT extension. Perfect. Thank you. And then you'll be able to ask for more recent information. All right, this is kind of feeling like a masterclass, Lesli. Are we okay? We're going good?
Yeah, how are we doing on time? Yeah, we probably want to wrap up in the next 6 minutes.
Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. So just anyhow, you have access to this ebook. It's inside of, you actually get access to it on day 1 of the content cure. You'll also get access on day 2. And there are recordings of me in the content cure to kind of walk you through how to use this. But what these next pages show you is how you take a prompt and you make it relevant to your ideal customer avatar. Somebody's saying, as of now, I feel Google Bard will produce more accuracy versus ChatGPT because there are less hallucinations. Yes. Now, hallucinations happen when the prompt is not as, you know, deliberate and crystal clear. You want to eliminate hallucinations. Are really just, you know, ChatGPT not having good logic and not making a good prediction at what comes next. At this point, I get very few hallucinations when I get outputs.
I've never heard that language.
Yeah. It's
ChatGPT hallucinating. Oh my God.
And this brings us to the next question. These are very good questions that this user is asking. Are you paying?
Questions everything.
That's amazing.
I
love it. Are you paying for ChatGPT or using 4? I am using ChatGPT 4. I think it's $19 per month because the reasoning is better. You actually do get fewer hallucinations at the 4 level, and you get better outputs, and you get more outputs with 4. With 3, you have limitations. If the software is slow, you can get locked out. So 4 users will get priority. You get to organize your content a little bit differently. But if you haven't started using chat yet, just go ahead and, you know.
What is the price point?
$19 per month.
Okay, for version 4. Okay.
For version 4,
That's not bad.
Jasper, I also have Jasper and Content at Scale. Those get much more expensive because they provide a little bit more support, again, to reduce hallucinations and to provide you with more of a framework for your prompts.
Okay.
But again, don't worry about that. Like, if you haven't gotten started yet, just start with the free version. And if you find it valuable, especially given the content that I'm giving you, then you can make that decision if it's worth the investment for you. So the prompt, this just kind of moves forward with response number 1. I'm going to ask it. So the first response that I got was actually pretty good. I pasted exactly what ChatGPT, including the emojis, put out for me. But I wanted an additional prompt. And I know this is important to our dietitians who want scientific references for some of their statements. If ChatGPT delivers something to you and you're like, I don't know, either you question it or you want to know where that came from, you can ask it to provide a scientific reference. That prompt is actually pretty simple. You can say, please provide a primary scientific reference for this statement, and then type, either type or paste in the statement. 99% of the time it gets it right. You have to check it.
I was going to say, have you checked?
Oh yeah.
You always check. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard kind of mixed results on the references. Like, I don't know who it was. Someone was saying that it didn't exist. Like when
it's not going to pull them in automatically for you. And now if you enable, the web, you're going to get more recent references. But I have found that it does citations pretty well.
Okay.
And at the 4 level, pretty well. I have not found any like egregious errors. Sometimes it'll give me a scientific reference that's not totally relevant to my topic. So let's say, I asked for a scientific reference about plant-based proteins and their impact on fertility. It might deliver back to me a scientific study about the benefits of plant-based proteins, but not as it relates to fertility, right? So you just have to kind of weed through it. And again, it doesn't take away all of the work, but it definitely helps you focus on really what you do best, which is getting to that, super valuable content that's important to your ideal customer avatar. So you can continue to, my guess is that people who get scientific references that aren't so accurate, the initial prompt probably wasn't so great to begin with. So if you're prompting it properly and you're taking it through this process and you ask, okay, here you've made this statement, provide the reference for that, it'll do it for you. It does whatever you ask it to do. Somebody's asking another question. Is this packet that you were sharing today on Prime? Yes, it is. It was in the content drop for May. Yeah, it's there. It's in your business and marketing tools section, along with the Launch Runway ebook, whoever's asking that question. Business and marketing tools. Okay. So I just kept going, Lesli. Response 2, and then I made some edits, and then here was my final post. Yeah, just reviewing that. Yeah. So enjoy that, everybody. That book. I just stopped sharing, Lesli. Okay. Great. Thank you. Enjoy that. It can be fun. So, spend some time when you're, not pressed for time, because you definitely want to, take a look at the prompts but don't even put any piece of content that you've created into chat without the ICA and the unique value proposition first.
Okay. Great.
Really, really important.
And if you don't know that, call me. Right? Or email me.
If you're not sure, yeah. Somebody's saying always double check any references for quotes. Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always double check. Okay. So just to summarize, we covered content that connects. And then once you have that content, you can scale it. So the content that connects is that behavior change blueprint. You want to make sure that you're providing in order to compete where we are right now, you need to diversify your content. You need to diversify your content. You need to learn just a little bit of the AI technology, and you need to add human. What is that?
I gotta go.
Oh, what's that?
My phone. My client's calling.
Oh, okay.
All right. So do I need to let you continue?
No. That's okay. Everybody, just go to the link. Go to the link, download it, and you can also reach out to me at Living Plate on Instagram. Okay, everybody?
Okay, guys. Hey, guys. Anyone going to today's dietitian, let us know.
Yes. Let us know. Love
All
to
right.
see you there.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.